Un. He promised major changes ahead. Let's get a closer look at what that could mean and if changes are actually going to happen inside North Korea. Joining me is John Delury from Yonsei University. John, good to see you. Just a few months ago, we were talking in Seoul, and the world was a very different place then. You know, escalating threats, risk of war, and earlier today we had this historic handshake. You know, I call it a photo op. You believe it's more than that. You called it an opportunity for peace. What do you mean by that?
Well, you know, this is something I think we have to look at the way we've thought about North Korea for a very long time. I mean, I say we as Americans. North Korea has always been in the category of threat. And of course, the North Koreans have done a lot to stimulate that, to provoke that. There's good reason for that. But it's just we've been so locked into this concept, thinking about North Koreans in, you know, hostile terms and how can they hurt us. And so this hostile relationship really has been mutual. It has been on both sides. And so we've trained ourselves not to think in terms of opportunity and to be deeply cynical when one comes along. And I think, frankly, that's what's happening right now is a huge opportunity is opening up in terms of what Kim Jong Un is ready to do. And it's sort of hard for us to change our mindset about North Korea and see it as an opportunity. So that was the point of my retweet back to you.
You said that we have to change our mindset about North Korea as a threat. We need to be more optimistic here. You are hopeful, but are you optimistic about complete denuclearization?
You know, honestly, I'm not necessarily hopeful or optimistic because that language implies a faith that it will work out, you know, that things will work in a certain way, which at that, you know, it doesn't merit it yet to say that. We don't know if this is going to work out. But when we talk about a concept of opportunity, I do see something huge in Kim Jong Un. And the fact that he came here, the way he handled this trip, the way it's been reported back in North Korea, the signaling that Kim Jong Un is sending to us, to the world, but also back to North Koreans is he wants to lead his country in a very different direction. He wants to sort of bring down the drawbridge, you know, of Fortress North Korea. And we need to adjust our thinking. So you've got everyone else talking about denuclearization, and that's fine. But I think there is another story here, which is Kim Jong Un's readiness to basically normalize North Korea's relations with the U.S. and with the world, and we need to pay attention to that too.
And where you are physically right now is a symbol of that opportunity. You've said that the Singapore summit has echoes of Deng Xiaoping, you know, a leader of a closed state, stepping forward to open up for greater reform. Do you think that's what's going to happen here with Kim Jong Un?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I was skeptical of the Singapore setting. It seemed odd to me and sort of random, frankly. But now that I'm here, it strikes me as the perfect place for this because Singapore is a story of making a transition to focusing on economic development while frankly keeping a pretty authoritarian system. That's also what China did under Deng Xiaoping, consciously emulating Singapore in the late 70s and 80s. And I think that's what we're seeing Kim Jong Un do. So it doesn't solve all our problems, you know, and it doesn't create a perfect world, but it's a massive and major improvement on the way that we've been dealing with North Korea. And also for the lives of average North Koreans, it has huge potential positive implications for them as well.
Absolutely. John Delury of Yonsei University joining us live from Singapore. Thank you for joining me. Take care.